Hey Misfits, Toni Craft here. Today I'm making tiny miniature little tiny people to go with my tiny miniature little tiny pool scene, originally created from Nerdy Crafter's tutorial. First of all, I whipped up my own skin tone colors by using a translucent white and then adding browns, pinks, and yellows. I'm really just using my fingers today and one simple tool, which is just a pokey thing. First, I'm going to take a chunk of my clay and roll it into two pieces, one bigger than the other, and I'm going to attach them as if I'm attaching a head and a body. Having the two separate shapes just makes it easier to get your final shape. My clay is very well conditioned, so it sticks together very well. So I'm just going to smoosh that little guy down, work on the shape a little bit. And now I'm going to use my pokey tool. You could really use anything long and skinny to do this, but I'm using mine to roll out what would be the little person's neck. I'm basically just adding a little more dimension to it. And just by rolling it back and forth, we create an elongated neck. And I just keep smooshing and rolling until it's the shape that I want. Basically what I'm making is people in the shape of Weeble wobbles, if you remember those. And here I'm just using all my other colors to create more and more little people in all shapes and sizes. And then I'm going to throw them in the oven and bake them at 275 for about 15 minutes. Now you can see it's nice and hard and ready to be painted. I'm just using a simple acrylic paint in maybe 4 or 5 colors and a tiny, tiny brush. Now these things are so small, it is very hard to get the details perfectly right, but these little people are for my kids to be able to play with the little pool scene, so I'm sure that they're not too worried about the details. If you put multiple coats on, it looks better and better the more coats you put on. So adding little tiny eyes. And a little mouth to finish it off. I'm going to do that with each one of these little Weeble Wobble dudes. Some of them I'm putting hair on, some have bathing suits. But because they are so small, they do not have too many details. I did manage to put some polka dots on one of the bathing suits. I'm going to finish off my little people with a Sculpey Glaze. This is more to protect the acrylic paint so that it doesn't chip off with play. And you don't have to be too careful with the glaze as long as you get a good coating over the whole thing. And here are a couple of the little people sitting in the pool scene. It's hard to get my camera to even focus on them because they are so small. My kids were delighted and have continued playing with them since I finished them. So anyway, I hope you find this tutorial useful. If you have made any little miniature scenes and maybe you have some kids around who want to actually play with the miniature scenes, this is a really easy way to make tiny people. Doesn't take a ton of work. So if you haven't already, please hit subscribe and like this video. And if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to do that in the comment section. I try to respond to every single one. All right, have a wonderful week, you guys, and I hope you make something cool. Bye-bye.